Hello and welcome to episode 20 of the Sunshine and Bubblegum podcast. Now this is not only episode 20, but this is my 1-year anniversary, or Podaversary as they say in the biz, of this podcast. So I need to say an amazingly huge thank you to everyone who has been coming back month after month and watching me, and just to let you know that you putting the thumbs up and subscribing and commenting and participating in the Kals and the knit-alongs and saying hello on Instagram has given me so much motivation in my knitting, in my crafting, in my life. And this has been a really, really fun journey, something I didn't think that I'd ever do. And I've had so much fun with it. I'm excited to keep doing more. And thank you so much. And I hope in turn that I've inspired some of you to try something new, try a new yarn, pick up your knitting or your crochet again, and do something awesome. So thank you so much, and if this is your very first time, welcome, welcome. My name is Lynn. This is the Sunshine and Bubblegum podcast. It is a knitting, crocheting, sewing, and overall crafty podcast, although it's pretty heavy on the knitting, crocheting, and sewing. I have some giveaway winners to announce. I have a giveaway for the anniversary to announce. I have lots of bits and pieces and some questions from a few friends on about the podcast and my crafting, and let's get right into it. For those of you who are new, I am coming to you from outside of New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'm originally from Massachusetts. I live down here now with my husband and my twin boys, who are 4, and we are in the summer. It is hot. I'll try not to complain too much about the heat, because if you're in the heat, it's hot, and it's hot wherever you are, whether it's half the year like it is here or just a few days on the higher end. But anyway, it's not a weather podcast, as people have been saying. This isn't a weather podcast, but yet everybody needs to know what the weather is wherever we are. Sunshine and Bubblegum, I haven't talked about that in, I think since episode 1. But Sunshine and Bubblegum was something silly my sister and I used to say when we were little. I always said it was Sunshine and Bubblegum, and she would always say it's rainbows and unicorns. So it's something that stuck with us over the years. So Sunshine and Bubblegum is one of those silly phrases that always brought me to my happy place, and I want to keep that going with my crafting and the happiness and all that. So I have a lot of notes because I have a lot of fun things that I want to talk to you about. So one of the first things I wanted to say was a big thank you to Barbara from Knitting I Love. Barbara is a podcaster. She has the Knitting I Love podcast, and she also has a little shop. I believe it's knittingilove.com. And she is over in Ireland. Hi, Barbara! And she so sweetly gifted me her newest hat pattern, and it is called the Forgotten Path hat. And I'm hoping I can show it to you. Oh, sorry, I'm knocking everything over. On the iPad without too much glare. Oh, perfect. There it is. So this is the Forgotten Path hat, and it is. She has a child size and an adult size, and it has a very light cabling that goes. It's an all-over cable. Let me see if I can swap photos here. There we go. She's done it in a beautiful green. Okay, getting too much glare on that one. On the pictures that she's showing, but this is truly beautiful. And for those of you who have been watching for a little while, you'll know that a dear friend of mine went on a trip to Ireland this spring and brought me back a ridiculous amount of yarn for someone who doesn't knit. She doesn't knit at all. And I've been trying to think of the most perfect thing to thank her for such a wonderful trip. And I have to thank Barbara for that too, because I had talked to Barbara and said, this is where my friend is going to be. Is she close to you? And unfortunately, she wasn't. They were about 5 hours apart. But they were in Dublin, and Barbara told me the yarn shops in Dublin for her to go check out, because I asked her, I said, would you find me some yarn? Like a ball of yarn when you go to Ireland? I would love it. Yeah. She brought me back like 5. So I have And my friend has really beautiful auburn hair, like that red auburn that everybody pays a lot of money for. Yeah, she's natural. So I had to pick a right color. So she loves blues, grays, blacks, browns, greens. And this is one of the yarns she brought back. It is Townhouse Yarns. And this was hand-dyed in Ireland by Jenny. And it's a 70% superwash, 30% silk, and it's a single ply. So I was thinking, because I like the pictures of Barbara's hats that she was showing and she showed on her podcast, and it looked really beautiful in a tonal with some light and dark variations. So I was thinking this might be perfect. Amy really liked. Hi, Amy. Try not to say your name, but I'm not good at that apparently. Likes blues and grays. So I was thinking this might be really nice, but I'm not sure for the cabling if a single ply will give enough stitch definition. If anyone has any thoughts on that, maybe leave me a note down below for a cable look. And then the other one I have in my stash right away is, this is Cemetery Tour from Teeny Button Studios, and she is a New Orleans dyer. And I was thinking this gray with the a little bit of light to dark with the pops of pink might also look really neat in that pattern. So I don't know. Maybe I'll show her both and see. And I think both would be special because one's from her trip from Ireland and one is from a New Orleans dyer. And she's also a New Orleans girl. So that might be perfect. But Barbara, thank you so much for this pattern. I definitely want to knit one for myself and maybe a few other people in my family with all of my spare time. But I think that is definitely going to be a gift for my friend who went to Ireland and did such an amazing, amazing thing of bringing back some really special yarns. So I'm trying to catch the light. We have a little overcast, so it might be changing here today. And second thing that I wanted to talk about before we get into knitting and giveaways is Miss Jessica Ruth. She is another podcaster of the Jessica Ruth Knits podcast. Her and her husband live in a tiny home in Arkansas, and they, I don't know if it's a hobby farm anymore. They have some animals. She's got pigs and goats, chickens. They have dogs, kittens, rabbits. I don't know if they have bigger animals, but Jessica is someone who is near and dear to my heart in another way because her and her husband are going through fertility treatments, and they've been sharing their journey on her podcast, or she's been sharing their journey, and right now she is out in California to do IVF. And if you want to check in on all of her journeys there and what's going on, please go watch her podcast. But my boys were conceived through fertility, and we did IUI. So I didn't have to go to the extent of IVF, but it's a very hard journey. You feel, even though you're going through it with your significant other, sometimes you feel really alone, and so I've been trying to reach out to her and give her support, and the best I can, because I know a little bit about how stressful it is. It's stressful. But anyway, while she's out there, she was gifted an amazing amount of hand-dyed yarn that she would like to share with a lot of people. And so what she's doing is she is asking for anyone to knit a baby item or multiple baby items or a gift for mom. And she is collecting these through July 31st. And I'm going to put a link below, down below in the drop bar and in my show notes for how to find this information. It's on her Ravelry page. And in August, once all of the items have come in, she is going to donate them to a local maternity crisis center that helps moms and babies and maternity home people that could use a little hand up. So that's her plan, and I have sent her some gifts, and she's already received them, and she already sent me something back, and in the spirit of podcaster love, she has sent something for you too. So I will be showing all those off in a bit, and I will share them in my little acquisitions moment. But Jessica, that is so awesome, and you have such a huge heart, and thank you to your anonymous friend who sent you the yarn too, and enabled you to be able to share all of this. So leading off of that, I didn't tell anybody where you could find me, but I am Sunshine Bubblegum on Ravelry and Instagram, and I am Sunshine and Bubblegum on Facebook and Etsy. I also have the Sunshine and Bubblegum group podcast group on Ravelry, where you'll find all the show notes for this show, as well as always down below each episode in the Dropbox here on YouTube. And I'm most active on Instagram and Ravelry. If you want to leave me a question or a message that you definitely want me to see, maybe message me on Ravelry, but always feel free to tag me on Instagram. So far, I'm pretty good at catching everything. So I think that's it. If you have any questions for me ever, please just leave them here below or again on those places. And I also have an Ask Me Anything thread on the Ravelry group. So I always forget to say that. But all that information is below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, words are hard today, you might want to do that. Because A, you'll find out when my next episode loads, so you can watch me right away. And 2, B, I guess we're doing alphabets, A, B, I'm getting close to 500 subscribers, so we'll have another giveaway when that happens. So if you like to watch this podcast and you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and you'll get to enter to win another prize when I hit 500 YouTube subscribers. So yay! Okay. So let's do some giveaways. And the 2 giveaways we had from the last podcast, I had one which was a crochet giveaway, and I believe the prompt was, what is your favorite thing to crochet? And 2 were some beautiful hand fingerless mitts patterns from Mary of the Cherry Pearls podcast. She had 3 patterns, 2 were fingerless mitts and 1 was a hat, and she generously donated a pattern to give away. So I have that winner here too. So first, the crochet winner is Catherine Kirby. So Catherine, if you're watching this, please message me on Ravelry and let me know a crochet pattern that's $10 or under that you like on the Ravelry site, and I will gift that to you. That is a gift from me. And the winner of one of Mary's patterns is Heaney1, which is Claire, and she said she really loved the Monkey Hill mitts. So Claire, why don't you get in touch with me also on Ravelry and let me know that you've seen this, and I will have Mary send that pattern over to you. So thank you, Mary, and thank you, ladies. I'm really excited about being able to give these lovely, lovely things away. So, as far as a Podaversary prize, I have no idea what the prompt will be, but maybe throughout this podcast, let's see. I'm going to let you guys reply down below right here on YouTube, because this is for the podcast, and I know some of you may not be on Ravelry. You might all be on Ravelry, I don't know. But let's think of something real quick. Where is your favorite place to visit during the summer or on one of your vacations that you like to do annually? Since it's summer, the weather is fantastically warm, and we want to be able to include everybody. So leave below to enter, and I'll show you the prize in a second, a Podaversary prize from me. Where is your favorite place to visit on your summer vacation, or a vacation that you might take throughout the year? And what you will win is one of my sock bags. This is my small sock size project bag, and this is the Mint Tea and Roses set. This was a collaboration I did with TD Button earlier in the year, but I do have the bags available in my shop. So I'm giving one away to you. It's got the beautiful roses on it. It's got gold sparkle in the fabric, and the inside is white with little triangles. This fits a sock project easily, and you could probably also put a hat project or fingerless mitt project. 1 to 2 skeins. 2 will be, you know, a little fuller, obviously. But what's going to go with this is a gift from Jessica Ruth of the, like that I was just telling you about, Jessica Ruth of the Jessica Ruth Knits podcast. She sent a sock blank, and this is a single strand sock blank from Kaleidoscope Dye Works, and they are out of Canada. And I think it matches the bag perfectly. Look at this. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. So this blank will probably stripe when you're doing the different colors with little blips of the flowers and butterflies and dragonflies she has in there. So it will go from your pink to peach to pink, and then she's got yellows, and then it goes back. So you could probably have 2 similar socks if you wanted them to be similar, or you might be able to start them in different colors and have 2 similar socks that won't necessarily be matchy-matchy. But these little butterflies and flowers and dragonflies will definitely knit up with like little blips of kind of like speckling in your sock, if you haven't seen that. I haven't knit directly from a sock blank before, but I have been seeing some beautiful, beautiful things. So this will be the prize. I think they go together so great for the podcast giveaway. So please leave that comment below and enter to win that. And I will get in touch with you next podcast. I will announce who won, and we will get in touch with each other, and I will get that out to you. So yay! So the next thing I did was ask a few questions on Instagram. If anyone had a question for me about my podcast, about my crafting, or my knitty life in general. And I had a couple questions come up, and the first one was from Lucky Jenny, and she asked if I prefer knitting or crocheting more. And I think at the beginning of this podcast journey, I had been away from knitting for so long, and I was burnt out on my crocheting. And at the moment, I just wanted to do all things knit, and I was heavily more interested in knitting. And throughout this past year, I have found that I enjoy both. And I enjoy both for different reasons. Crochet for me goes a little bit faster, but depending on what you're making, the end product will be a little thicker fabric-wise, and it uses a little more yarn. So depending on what you're doing, that's something to think about. And knitting, the fabric is also obviously thinner. I feel I like the look of that stockinette stitch very much. And so I would think for things, you know, like socks and garments, most garments, I think I would prefer knitting. I think I prefer crocheting for blankets. That's also wonderful for a quick, really warm hat. But I really do. I enjoy both. They give me a different sense of calm when I do them, and they work different parts of my brain, I think, and obviously different muscle memory. So yeah, I've decided I enjoy both, and I want to keep doing both and have a knitting and a crochet project going at all times. And that's not going to be hard this year, because when I get into some of my happy hooker bits, you'll see what's going on. The second question was from Little Bean, and her question was, what is your favorite and least favorite part of podcasting? So my favorite part has been the motivation that it's given me to try new things, definitely finish projects, even though I'm kind of a slow knitter. Slow as in I don't have enough time in the day to sit and work on things uninterrupted. But it's given me the motivation to keep going, try new things, join knit-alongs, start my own knit-alongs or crochet-alongs, and be a little braver than I thought I was, and then realize that I'm scared for the wrong reasons about weird things like my socks, okay? Like, I don't know why I was scared about socks. I've done about 5 pairs now in a year, which it's not, you know, they're way faster sock knitters than me, but when I pick them up, I enjoy them so much. And I find now that I have actually two different socks going, which in the beginning I was like, I'm never going to do that. But they're in different progress points and in different places, and whether it's a pattern sock versus a vanilla sock, sometimes you do want them for different reasons for where you're going to be. So, and how much time and concentration you need to give them. So definitely the motivation, I would say absolutely the interaction. I have been able to meet and talk to and message with so many knitters and people from all over. I have friends in Germany now. I have friends all over the United States. I have a friend in Newfoundland. And these are people that I didn't know. I didn't know last year, and now I have a whole nother circle of friends, a whole nother circle of knitting friends, and as you all know, this community is a really generous, welcoming community, and sometimes you just really need those type of people in your life. I think maybe always you need these type of people in your life, and I can't say thank you enough to everybody that I've met, and everybody that's contacted me just to say hello. It's wonderful. I love you. I appreciate you, and you have been one of the best parts of the podcast. So some of the things I don't like about the podcast are the pressure and expectations that I found that I was putting on myself. I was going to try very hard to do every 2 weeks, which as somebody who's putting out, you know, some type of program or show, if whatever this podcast is, I felt was really necessary, and I was pushing myself really hard, and I was stressed. So when I came to sit and talk and show things, I had a lot of anxiety, and I didn't always have the time, and I ended up podcasting super late at night, and it was awkward and uncomfortable, and I had to step back and find what was right for me, find my rhythm. So even though they might not be my favorite parts about it, I've learned from everything. And it's helped me, I think, put together a better podcast. I can't always do it every 2 weeks. I'm trying for every 3. The summer is a little hard. This week the boys have camp, but this is the only week they have camp. So I'm going to get a little, creative with my podcasting days for the next couple months, and we'll go from there. But I want to keep doing it, and I have this, that's what I've determined from all of this is I don't want to be stressed. I want to keep doing it, and I want to keep challenging myself. So thank you, ladies, so much for both of those questions. And so you should keep challenging yourself too. So a couple goals for this next year, whether it be my knitting and or podcasting, that I want to have you all help me be accountable, even though I don't want to stress over it, is I want to get myself a spindle. I think I want to get one of the Turkish spindles that make the little turtles, from looking and watching and seeing what other people do, because I have a beautiful little bunch of Malabrigo roving that my sister got me last year around Thanksgiving time on one of her trips to Vermont, and it needs to be something. I need to play with it. I need to figure out how to spin and maybe knit it into a hat or mittens or something else gorgeous. So by next June, this will be spun in some form. That would be really great. And also one of the big things, which I keep finding my personal knitting, besides the sock, keeps getting pushed to the back burner, and for good reasons, which you'll hear about in a second. But the Ohm shawl, that is something I want to do. I've talked about it before. I'm going to repurpose yarn that was in an old project, which I've shown. So I want to continue that, get the yarn set so I can re-knit it. I have all of the yarn and all of the colorways, but the Ohm shawl by Andrea Mowry is on my bucket list of personal knitting, which will be a big knit for me. and I'd like to get that done. So those are my two. I think everything else I'm going well. I've started a shawl, which I think was on my New Year's list, and that's almost done. It should have been done, and that's bummed about that, but it's almost done. And I have got 2 socks going for this year already. So I have socks, and I have more gift knitting that I want to do. But yeah, so we're not too much pressure. More fun stuff. So let's get into the knitting and crocheting. I'm going to start with the crochet, and what I have going this week is actually a blanket for my new little nephew who arrived this week, and his name is Bennett, and he's adorable. My sister is doing well, Bennett is doing well, and I believe they're coming home from the hospital today. And home from the hospital, unfortunately, means up in Massachusetts. So I personally won't get to hold him yet, but soon, hopefully soon. So I am going to be making Bennett a blanket. It is summer, so I don't think anybody's going to be too worried yet that this isn't done yet. But I'm crocheting it, and this is the Lark's Foot stitch. And the pattern I'm using is a Ravelry pattern by Teresa Richardson, and it's called the Lark's Foot Stitch Afghan. The only thing that I'm kind of concerned about is the amount of ends. It's a 2-row repeat, so you have 2 ends from every single end. So I'm trying to manage that as I go. I'll show you what I've actually cast on, but these are the colors I'm using, and the bottom up is navy, peacock, turquoise, gray mist, and desert glaze. And these are all from Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn, and that is an acrylic yarn. So that was my swatch to get my gauge and to find the hook size that I liked, and luckily for me, I liked the hook size this first time that I swatched, so then I just had to measure and determine how many I wanted to cast on. So next episode, I will try and do some more like maybe little tutorial-ish videos of what I've been doing, so I can share this stitch with you. It's a free pattern, so we can talk about it all you want. So if anyone has any questions about this particular stitch, or anything they'd like me to show, please leave a message below about that. Leave a message on, in the show notes for this episode on Ravelry, and I will try and answer them and or put a video together doing the stitch for the next episode. So I can't remember how many I cast on. It's a repeat of 4 stitches for your cast on for however long you want it, plus 3 for your chain. So 4 plus 3. But I have it, it's just about 3 feet long. I've started, I'm onto the gray right now. And this uses a double crochet stitch, a chain stitch, and a long double crochet, which none of these are tricky. You just have to count your stitches as you go. And I'm really enjoying it. And as I've been starting each new color, I don't know if I'm in a place to be able to show you that, but you have a tail when you join your new color. So when I've started each color, like here's the tail. Okay, here's the tail for this turquoise. I've joined the yarn, and then I hold it double for like the first few stitches. So I don't know if you can really tell, but along this edge they're a little chunkier than the regular stitches in the middle, which you really can't tell just looking at the blanket because it's just a couple stitches. But that way I'm weaving in one of the ends right away as I have started each row. So again, I join the color for the next row and with a slip stitch knot, and then I hold both strands together for 2 double crochets, or whatever that first stitch in for each for every 2 rows. It's like I guess it's a 4-row repeat for the first 2 rows, second 2 rows. You do start differently. Hold it double for like 2 or 3 stitches, and then it's already woven in, and I'll be able to cut it later. and then I'm going to go back and I will weave in the ending stitch, which because of the stitch, it'll be easier to weave in then. So I'll maybe try and talk about that a little more next time. But anyway, so that's where I am. I'm on the gray. This doesn't take too long to do, but you know, I'm trying to get in a couple rows, or at least one color, 2 colors a day if I can, because I don't want this to be too long forever, because I have some other gifts I'd like to send him too. But that is the Lark's Foot blanket for my nephew, who's already here. So that's got to get going. And my sister Lily, who's been asking for a blanket for a dog's age now, is expecting her own baby, and this is so special too because this is my baby sister. So the baby, and this is her first baby, and so I told her blanket's out the window for right now, because now we have to start dreaming of new baby knits, and her husband are also going to be expecting a little boy coming this winter. So I will keep you all apprised as baby knits and baby blankets that will be coming up for Lily. So there's lots of stuff there. And I also have one of my dearest high school friends expecting her first baby also this winter. So there will be more baby knits, crochet items, whatever. It's going to be Baby Palooza. Baby Palooza coming this winter for me. So I don't know that I'll be doing any sweater knitting. Hopefully my Ohm shawl will be knitting on the needles, and I will have crochet blankets aplenty, and little baby things scattered everywhere. So for Knitty Bits, I have the socks that I'm working on. I have finished one. This is my Fleur sock, and this was a collaboration kit that I did with Kayleen of Littlebean Crochet. This is her self-striping yarn in the Fleur colorway, and she includes a mini for heels, cuffs, and toes. And I finished one. I started this one toe up, and I believe I cast on 28 stitches. I did 14 on each needle to try and get a little bit wider toe. My feet are a little wide, but then I increased to 60 stitches because I actually like the tightness of the sock. But I also decided that this may be a gift. Maybe. The dog has stopped eating my socks, so I might be knitting for myself again. We'll see. But these are going to have a cut-in afterthought heel, and I believe the Kirby Werby heel will be what I'm going to be trying. This little marker here is where I'm going to put the heel, and this marker is where it was last time, so I didn't get a lot done, but I finished the cuff. And this cuff I did 2 by 1, so 2 knit and 1 rib. I have done a 1 by 1 and a 2 by 2. I think, and I don't know if it's just because the cream has not been washed after it had color set in it. It seems a little thinner than the striped yarn. But this has been, you know, dyed, soaked, and then washed again, so it may just have bloomed, and this will bloom once I wash it again all together. So this is going to have a heel, and because I'm doing a cut-in heel afterthought, with the stripy yarn, I might do more stripes, because that's the best way to do, right? That's what you want to do with an afterthought, is use your stripy yarn. But I also kind of like the cream. So we'll see. Haven't decided on that. So, haven't cast on the second one yet. I finished this last night. And this is in one of my little bags that I made, one of the sock size bags. So you can see in here, it fits, there's room. This is the yarn, this is Fleur, and I have the little ball in here that I wound up of the heels and toes. I have my needles, I can fit my sock, and Kayleen showed this off, and she's so super smart. She just rolled down the sides of the bag and you make a little bowl, so you can work right out of it, which is super fun and super easy. And then you can unfold it, tie it up. I took this, well, I took the next one to the movie theater, and I actually hung it on the arm rest and was knitting in the movie theater this week. So I was like, I'm finding all kinds of fun things to do with my very own bags, and I'm enjoying that. So the second little sock I've been working on is a ball that I bought over 8 years ago. It's when I first decided, oh, I'm going to knit socks. And I did them on double pointers. They came out huge. I gave them to my grandma. She loved them, and I never ever knit a sock again until last year. So, but I had bought this ball along with it. I think I was going to make a pair for my grandmother and my grandfather, but I don't remember anymore. So I've also been saying the name of this wrong. This is Online Yarns in the Supersocke 100, and it gives kind of a patterning, and I'll tell you, I'm going to show you my sock in a second. I have not come across a repeat yet, so it's pretty darn cool. And this is a 50% superwash wool, 25% bambooed, and 25% polyamide. It says it's made in Turkey. I believe this label is written in German, but you're asking the wrong person when it comes to reading other languages. And I believe the colorway is 1271. Now, tons of people have been asking me about this yarn in particular. I bought it at Coveted Yarn up in Gloucester, Massachusetts. They do have an online store, covetedyarn.com. When I looked on their website, they had 2 colorways available, but if you're interested, please feel free to call them and ask if they have others in stock in the store. Usually they try and keep almost everything that's in stock also on their website, but sometimes they have other colors that may just be like 1 or 2 balls on the shelf. And they've opened a second store, I believe, or it's opening this summer, so they may have more. Now, also, striping yarn like this, what I've found, I believe, Opal has yarns that will do self-patterning like this. I believe Regia yarns will self-pattern like this. And Arnie and Carlos, which may be in partnership with one of those two. The Arnie and Carlos line, I believe, also self-patterns. Similar to what I have, because I don't know that this colorway is in production anymore, and lots of people have been super sweet and asking about it. So let me show you, without further ado, this is what I got going on so far. So this has been, I cast it on at a doctor's appointment. I kind of wanted something that wasn't my Fleur socks. I don't know if anyone else does that. I know a lot of people do it for like trips and vacations and special days, but just kind of like needed something that, I don't know, could kind of be like a worry knit, maybe? I'm okay. But anyway, I cast this on and wasn't really expecting to be that excited about it. I'm super excited about this. I love it so much, and I love that everyone else is super excited about this. So I started with the tiniest bit of tan down here, and then it went into kind of like the swirly stripe, and again cast on 14 on each needle, so 28, and then up to 30, so 60 total, 30 on each needle. And it has yet to repeat the same color switch yet. So similar, but no repeats yet in this sock. So, and I'm getting close. I think I have maybe another 6 rows or so before I would probably put a marker or put in a heel. I think these will just all be in this yarn. I might just do a fish lips kiss heel with this. And I don't know who they're going to be for yet, but they're very sturdy. It's soft, but maybe not as soft as like your Felici. I think because of the bamboo makes it soft, but with the wool, it's starting to get a little fuzzy. So here's the yarn. It's really pretty, all these different chocolate browns. These might be my farm socks for when we go up and visit. But yeah, that's where my little toe was. I think I did show these very briefly on the last podcast because I had started them and then I got cut off and had to come back. So I am enjoying these a lot. They have turned into my play group knit socks. I've been going to a lot of indoor places, and I've been able to knit while the kids play. And we went to the movies, which is awesome to have like $4 movies for the kids over the summer, and they played the brand new Lightning McQueen movie last weekend, and I got like 3 color stripes done during that. I probably could have done more, but the movie was so exciting, the kids had to sit on my lap for some of it. If you haven't seen that and you like that movie, that's a yes. So that's in a little bag that my mom made me, and that's my second sock. So let's see. Aha, okay, so those are my socks, and then my shawl that I'm doing. This is the Show Me Yours shawl by the Unapologetic Knitter, and the yarn is by Kiwipop Studios in the Roses at Sunset colorway, and the red is Vermillion. I should have finished this before today. I was a little gun shy on the lace because I needed some really quiet time. It's over 300 stitches and starting to work lace, so I needed some, alone time to be able to start that. The little pecan is where I was last week, so I think I've only done 6 rows. But I've done 3 rows on the lace pattern already, and it's only 10 rows for the lace, so I only have 7 left. And the next row is just knit all the way back. And it's going well now. I read... Hello, sorry we were interrupted, but what I was showing you, again, was my shawl. And I am working on the lace. I have 7 rows left. I can't remember what I started to say before we got interrupted because the whole day has passed. And the kids are home, and it's actually almost dinner time now. But I started on the first row of lace finally, and I didn't read the directions properly. I half read the instructions, and then I decided I figured, oh, I got this, I'm going to follow the chart. And I followed it incorrectly because I didn't read all the directions. So I had to take back the entire first row of lace because I had gotten to the end and my counts were off. So I had to put it aside again because it was almost 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I don't have the brain power for this. So the next night I tore it back, and then the following night I started it again and did the whole first 2 rows. One is pattern, one is knit, and then last night I did the 3rd row of lace, and as I was reading the directions for row 3, I realized that I still did row 1 wrong. I have, yes, got the right amount of stitches, but what I didn't do was, on some parts, your slip knit to angle your stitches one way and knit 2 together to knit angle your stitches another way, and I slip knit all of them. So at this point it is what it is, and I think for something, I hope that it's not as dramatic as it could be. I don't think it's going to be that big of a detail. We'll see when it's done and the rest of the rows are done properly. But that is the 3rd row. I just have to knit back on row 4, and I'll have 6 rows of lace left to do, and then this will be done. So bum ba da bum. Then I can really stretch it out and block it and show everybody. So this will be finished for the next podcast. Yes, for reals. So the shawl is almost done, and my next knitty swatch gets into the big Summer Cal that I'm doing with the fantastic ladies over at the Slow Ass Knitters Club. So, let's see. This is my little swatcheroo, and I'm using Knit Picks Lindy Chain in the Harbor and on size 5 needles. I am doing, let's see if I can remember the pattern I'm doing, because all I've done is the swatch. Really bad, people. Really, really bad. Okay. The Cullum. I'm doing the Cullum top by Isabel Kramer, and I will try and pop a picture of that at the end too. It has lace open work detail at the top. It's short sleeves and then kind of loose. It says it has a few inches of positive, I think 3-4 inches of positive ease on the sweater itself. So I have another question for anyone who's done sweater knitting. Is that I'm gauge on point. I washed this, and I have the correct gauge for my needles. And the sizes are like 38 bust and then I think like 40 or 41. So if it has so many inches of positive ease and I'm like dead on 38, should I just go with a 38 and think that that will fit nicely, or does anyone think that might be too tight? Let me know if you've done some patterns. If anyone's done an Isabel Kramer pattern, let me know how it fits you in the final product, and if you were on point, on gauge, and all that stuff. So that's the yarn I'm using. This is my swatch. I'm ready to go. I just need to cast this on and decide what size I'm probably gonna go with the 38, I think, because if it's got a little ease, it should be fine. I just worried that it would be too tight, but I guess because I believe it's top down. I haven't read through everything. Probably be able to try it on and see when I get done with the neck part. I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to this top. I love the color, and it makes my eyes look so teal. I love that. Like, ready? Blue? Turquoise. Anywho, trying to finish this up so I can go make dinner. So, for anyone who hasn't joined in or hasn't heard about the Slow Ass Knitters Club, and that is ass with $2 signs, we have a group on the Ravelry, the Slow Ass Knitters Club, and we are hosting, we as a collective, there are 7 podcasters on there, and 5 of us are hosting this particular Summer Cal. We're doing a Tops Cal, Summer Tops Cal. Anything that would be considered a summer top for wherever you are is welcome, and it can be an adult or a child top.
Mommy.
Hi, Goose. Yes, you stay right there, Bubba, okay? And, what do you need?
Give you a hug.
Okay, please, can I finish real quick? Okay, go finish watching the show. I'll be right out, okay? That was good. That was good. So, our summer cal that we're doing, we're hoping to do seasonal cals. Our summer cal is tops, and it started beginning in May, and it goes to the end of July 31st. So there is still about 5 weeks, 5 full weeks, maybe 5 full weeks and change for anyone who would love to join in and finish a top. We already have 20 garments finished. We have a chatter thread that is blowing up. We have, over 300 something messages in the chatter thread. And the introductions thread is wonderful too. Lots of people have said hello, and they're melting down. Oh boy. But the link to the group will be down below if you'd like to join us. That top is going to be my top for this summer cal. I have pulled a name from the chatter thread for this month, and the prize will be any Ravelry pattern under $10 of your choice. And the winner is number 302, who's Joanne, and your Ravelry name is Port Hardy 1. So Joanne, if you see this, please come message me, and you can pick out a pattern. Message me on Ravelry, and we'll get you your pattern for that. So congratulations, and everyone keep up the chatter. This is going great. All the lovely ladies, oh my, they're fighting over toys. All the lovely ladies in this group, what do you need? Hey, can Mommy finish real quick?
Mommy.
Yes?
Say Michael on it.
It does say Michael on it, okay?
It's just a me.
Okay. Can you go finish watching your show with Brother before we have dinner?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yep, fighting over a Pez dispenser. Oh my goodness. Boys! Hello everybody. That was my children fighting over an empty Pez dispenser. Yeah. Anywho, the Slow Ass Knitters Club. Okay, so who's hosting this? It is myself It is Candy with Paws for Stitches. It is Lacey from the Knitted Cupcake. It is Jenny from Lucky Jenny Knits, and Amy from Amy's Knotted Knits. And I think Lacey, Candy, Jenny, it might meet. So the 5 of us are hosting the Summer Cal. We will be doing a Fall Cal, Winter Cal, and as a group, we are all picking randomly throughout the 3 months names from the chatter thread to give pattern prizes to, and then at the end there will be 5 grand prizes for those of you who have finished a project, 1 from each podcaster. So come and join us, join the fun, join the chatter, show us what you're working on. Anything that was 50%, honey, what?
I picked this.
Okay,
one.
that's a good pick, okay? That's a good pick.
No,
no, please, no. Okay, you can see when I'm done, okay?
Hey, this Daddy.
Okay, go ahead.
And Mommy too.
Yes, I know that all the pictures are in here. Can you please give Mommy a minute?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. I don't know where I was. But if you come over to the group, all the details are in the group of the cal that's going on. I think I know what I was going to say. If you've started a summer top that was no more than 50% done by May 1st, you're welcome to come and enter it in. So if you're still working on something that you started last month, it's good. It's good to go in. And knitted and crocheted tops are welcome. We have a huge bundle on the main page when you go in. There's about 13 crochet patterns that we've pinned, but there are over 200 patterns in that bundle right now. It got a bit crazy. But if you go into the group and if you're looking for crochet patterns, just do an advanced search within the bundle and it'll pop up. Then you can hit crochet and it'll show you the crocheted patterns in there. Or if there's another attribute that you are looking for, you know, sleeveless with sleeves, different constructions, however it may be worked up. Tons of patterns and ideas in there for some awesome summer tops. So please come and join us. And then other than that, I have a couple little acquisitions. My first one that I bought myself was some Patton's Croy sock. This was on sale at Hobby Lobby for $3.29. How can you pass that up? And it is the green striped rag colorway. And it is these blues and greens and kind of like a heathered twist, barber pole. And I loved it. I've been wanting to try this and just was like, they always have it. And then this time they only had, I don't know, I hope they're not getting rid of it at Hobby Lobby, but they had it on sale and there was a few left. So I grabbed some and I will keep an eye out for some more. I know Kay over at the Crazy Sock Lady, she really loves this yarn and says that it wears well. So that will go in my vast pile of sock yarn that has yet to be cast onto anything.
Doggy in.
Okay, hi Doggy in. And then next, for my baby item swap with Jessica Ruth, she sent she picked out a yarn for me, and then she did send a couple wonderful things to share with y'all. And the one that I've chosen to keep for myself is from Query Fiber, and it is the Vincent and the Doctor self-striping, which I don't know if Jessica knows this, but that is one of my favorite episodes with Vincent van Gogh and the Exploding TARDIS. So these are so cool. It's a 80-20 self-striping superwash merino nylon, and it is 2, I believe, identical, because this was actually inside one of the balls tied to the center pull string. So they are 2 identical socks, and I am freaking out awesome over the moon over these. These are going to be so cool, and I can't wait to see what they're going to, like, how they're going to stripe up. And maybe I'll do these as my first 2 at a time, because that way I can cast them on at the same points, watch them grow, And yeah, super, super excited. You know who's going to be jealous? My sister is going to be jealous. And probably Kayleen, because she had an exploding TARDIS bag in her shop for a while. So anyway, so Jessica, thank you so much. So in love, so in love. You couldn't have picked anything more perfect. More perfect. And then the last thing she sent, and this is really neat, it is a magic ball. Look at the colors on that. I think this will be a prize giveaway at some point, maybe even with the Summer Cal ending. It is a magic ball. It has 15 colors of sock yarn tied together and wound in this cake. The sections are tied together in square knots, so you can leave them and knit them right as one giant thing, or undo them and redo the join with your favorite join, or you can take them apart as you go all together. But it is 150 grams. It is 100% merino superwash, fingering weights, and the colorway is Cosmopolitan.
I'm gonna have snack a day.
Okay, no, we're not having snack, we're having dinner.
I see it.
Okay, all right, go ahead. I'm almost done. Oh, I just ripped the bag. Trying to open it so I could show you the colors better. Sorry, everybody. Someone's gonna get a ripped bag. It doesn't have a name on it, on who it's from. Look at the colors in that. Way better than in the plastic. So neat. So this is so cool. This would make a great shawl too. You could do 150 grams. You could do, there's lots of shawls that you could do with this just one ball, and maybe stripe it with something else. I don't know. I think there's a lot of options that you could do with this. So this is going to go in the prize bin. I have a couple other things too for prizes. I do have a prize bag. So this is going to go in with the prize bag and will be a prize coming up soon. But Jessica, thank you so much for spoiling us and spoiling me and letting me be a part of your charity giveaway. So that is all the Knitty stuff I think I have. I was going to tell you a little bit about my crazy life. I already told you about the babies coming up in my life. We did have our first hurricane watch this last week. It ended up being Tropical Storm Cindy. She did do a lot of damage along the coast with winds and rain, but where we were, we just got rain and no flooding, so we were safe and everything is fine here. And other than that, it is officially summer. The boys have been out for, I believe, a month now, and we have been keeping busy with play dates. They've started swim lessons. We had camp this week, and yeah, some of the moms from the class and I, the kids have made a lot of good friends, and I made a lot of new mom friends this year, which is great. And we've been getting together and just kind of writing up weeks at a time of hitting the library, doing story time, going to different indoor bounce places and indoor climbing places, water sprinkle pads in the park, and things like that to keep busy and try and include as many people as we can, because the kids love seeing all their friends from class. So that's been great. And the last thing, but definitely not the least thing, I wanted to show off my most recent collaboration with Teeny Button, who is Robin. She is one half of the Cherry Pearls podcast, and she is also a New Orleans girl, knitter, hand dyer, and her yarns are gorgeous. I do have 6 of these kits left in my shop, and I believe Robin has 1 left in hers, but I don't know if it's still there. So it was a strawberry festival kit, and here is the inspiration fabric. They're kind of like a watercolor painted strawberries. They have a green bottom and matching green inside, and this is a sock size. Strawberry Festival is a festival that goes on here in Pontchartrain, Louisiana. It happens every year. The first time I went was probably over 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, and it was a very small neighborhood festival, and there is a strawberry parade and a strawberry queen. People are selling homemade jams and jellies right out in front of their homes. There is a little carnival with all kinds of food and vendors and rides and We went last year, and it was ginormous. It's a very small town, and this festival had taken over the entire town. We had to park about a good mile away from the actual fair itself. There were every restaurant. There's strawberry beer, strawberry wine, strawberry tarts, strawberry cake, strawberry candies, strawberries dipped in chocolate, strawberries filled with liqueur, everything and anything strawberry you could ever imagine. So it's kind of a really fun time, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it started with the inspiration bag, and then Robin dyed up this gorgeous yarn to go with it, and it is called Strawberry Festival. And also, we got in touch with Joanna from the Gnome Knitter, and she has done a beautiful chocolate-covered strawberry stitch marker, which will go with these kits also. So if anyone loves strawberries or wants to celebrate Strawberry Fest with us here, there are a few kits left, and I hope you enjoy them. The last kits that went out were popsicles, and I've been starting to see that yarn knit up, and it is gorgeous. So I love everything that Robin does, and I know that you would love her yarn too. So I think that's it. The kids and the dog are all in here, standing right here and down here, trying to get into the shot, see what I'm doing, and are ready for dinner. Shawnee, you ready for dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I need to go make dinner now. Thank you all so much for being here and celebrating my 20th Podaversary. And again, leave below. Oh my goodness, what did we say? Oh, your favorite place to vacation in the summer. Down below to enter and win your chance a podcast prize for the anniversary podcast. Bye!